My husband and I were looking at an opportunity to get out of the city. We just stumbled across Mullalyup and we fell in love the moment we drove through it. You have the four seasons here, you have the greenery, the deciduous trees, the pine forests. We both felt that this part of the world was ideal for us. So we decided to look around where we could have a job, do something that interested us both, and also to enjoy the outdoors a lot more. The road here is part of the fabric of the community. We're reliant on the traffic, obviously. We want tourists to come into this part of the world. But at the same time, it presents some challenges in terms of the volume of traffic.
We've got traffic running fairly much constantly along here, particularly some of the heavy trucks that are part of the mining operations and the logging operations. It's a tiny town and there are quite a few properties that are ending up with their driveway onto this highway.
The speed limit along here is 70 kilometres an hour, which may not sound like a lot, but when you have to slow down to next to nothing and you have a semi-trailer behind you that has to do the same, it becomes quite tricky.
We have lots of visitors around. People aren't familiar with the area, they aren't familiar with the heavy trucks coming through, the logging trucks, and it can catch people by surprise just a little bit.
So this is just one opportunity where you're trying to cross the road and it's really quite noisy and quite dangerous to just waltz across.
Well, we came to Mullalyup in 1990 to purchase the Blackwood Inn. It meant that we were living on the Southwestern Highway and it provided our main source for clientele. And over the years we've seen a number of accidents and we've seen a number of near misses.
We had an accident about 6 months ago where the RAC helicopter had to land in one of the paddocks. A gentleman had come off the road just around the bend here. He was seriously injured.
We are concerned that there is going to be a major fatality in Mullalyup at any time.
I'm really surprised that the speed limit hasn't been reduced in this town. About 2 or 3 years ago, they reduced the speed limit in the larger towns like Donnybrook and Balingup to 40 kilometres an hour, and that's proven to be hugely successful. But the speed limit in Mullalyup has been 70 for as long as my neighbour remembers it, and they've lived here 30 years. And there may well be a good reason, but none that we understand and none that we really feel is warranted.
We're looking at a reduction from 70 down to 60.
If we can't get it legally reduced, then we obviously would like to talk today about how we can get people to genuinely slow down a little bit.
Welcome to everybody to attend the Mullalyup community meeting. I really appreciate the time and energy that everybody will be putting in today.
My name is Jimmy Murphy. I'm the co-founder of Town Team Movement. We're here to support communities be able to do stuff in their communities. It's not about telling government what they should do or council what they should do. It's about what can we do together to make our towns better through placemaking. Placemaking involves people making their own places great. It's about how can they contribute to make it reflective of them. What we're going to do is get your ideas to improve the town, and perhaps that might help reduce speeds. Over the last several decades, there's been increasing amounts of research that suggests that placemaking is a great way to help reduce speeds in town centres. Trees, artworks, things that catch people's eye when they're driving through a town, then they'll become instantly more conscientious. I can't wait to hear the placemaking ideas that this town comes up with today and then implements to reduce speeds and make it a safer and better place for everyone.
Something that is synonymous to the town.
We could do something for wildlife, couldn't we?
Quite keen on community events.
Do we have a little weekend village festival?
Have a movie and then barbecues and food trucks and so on. We've got Fruit Tree Arboretum in Mullalyup.
Dress up the park in Christmas and make it really festive for that period of time. A book exchange where people can drop off their books.
All right, that's awesome. Great ideas.
I like communities getting together to come out with all the different ideas, and I think that's really good because it gets people talking about it and empowers them to actually do something about it themselves.
It makes people proactive and less of the negativity, which that doesn't really get anybody anywhere.
They've come together with some great ideas of what's possible, you know, movie nights and food trucks coming to their town because there's not many food options down here. So it's lovely to hear them all talking and sharing ideas, and that each of the groups agree with those ideas. So it sounds like it's something that's very doable, achievable, and I think, you know, the local shire will jump on board and support them with that.
We've got obviously long-term financial plans and things like that that we've got to look at. So if we've got an understanding of what each small community wants, we can then sort of tailor the long-term financial plan into what the communities are looking at. Stopping power is what we want. You know, we want people to stop and patronise these businesses.
To focus on Mullalyup not as just another road for people to go from A to B, but actually a destination as well.